The other day I was actually at Chili's for Veterans Day free meals, and I met a really cool guy. His name was Flint Anderson, and his wife, Des. Really cool people. And it turns out Flint was actually an author, which is really surprising. So I asked him a little bit about his book, and he's got a really cool book out. It's called The MANuel. I'm going to leave a link in the description below so you guys can check it out. It's really cool. Check it out, definitely when you have a chance. And don't forget to check out my new book. I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description below for that as well. So welcome back to Rare Oakleys. Today, this episode is for Flint, the really cool guy that I met. He's a big Oakley fan, the author. And we're going to be checking out the X-Metal and Ruby Juliets. And we're actually going to compare the old versus the new to see if there are any differences. And we're going to talk about what a lot of collectors out there talk about is Gen 1 Ruby, because that's a really important topic and I think we need to cover that. So here we've got the original X-Metal and Ruby Juliets, and hopefully we got enough lighting to see these adequately. I'm gonna turn on a couple of lights anyway, just to give us a little extra light. But I think that's pretty good. Yeah, you can see the difference there. They look pretty good. And then you got the new ones. The new ones to the left. So these are the old ones, and of course this is the old box that they came in. So the old ones, of course, had the serial number here printed or inscribed. Can they see that? The old ones had the serial number inscribed on the ear stem. And these are a pretty deep ruby red, as you can see. They look good. This is the box, of course. And this is the original box that these actually came in. And for some reason, I remember when I picked these up many, many years ago, it doesn't say X-Metal, it says black with ruby red. And of course, they do have the appropriate skew on there. But this is the original box, which most of you will be familiar with. And then this is a newer pair. And the difference here, you can see in the frame, instead of a serial number, they've got some sort of a measurement in millimeters. And I'm not sure if it's for the nose bridge. We're trying to bring this into focus for you guys here. But it's right here above my thumbnail. Right here. Thumbnail. I'm trying to get it there so you can see it. Anyway, it's there. So most of you who are familiar with the newer Juliets, the newer versions and the newer box will know that they no longer carry the serial numbers. But you can see these are also a very deep ruby red. And again, these are not third-party lenses. They're not aftermarket. These are OEM. And I did not switch any of these lenses, by the way. Obviously, it would have been easy to take a T6 and just swap out the lenses. This is the newer box compared to the older one. You can see it's quite a bit different. The coin is obviously different, the X-Metal coin. Now, this is not the correct box. I just grabbed one out of storage. This is for what appears to be a polished and fire polarized pair of Juliets, but I didn't want to take the time to dig out the correct box because it would have taken probably hours, literally. But those are the differences between the boxes. You can see, though, from the lighting, both of these lenses are great. Both sets of lenses are great. They're very deep ruby red. So there's a lot of talk from a lot of collectors about Gen 1 Ruby, and they would say, well, the Gen 1 Ruby looked the best. That's not really the case. As you can see here, these are very early on, maybe considered Gen 1 Ruby. These are late in the product life cycle, right before the discontinuation of X-Metals, where they didn't even have serial numbers anymore. Very deep ruby red. They're both great examples of ruby red. So what is it? Well, it's the batches. In other words, and I don't know the full story on this, but I know they have a big tray that they put in when they bake the iridium coating onto the lenses, and they've got rows and sets of lenses in that tray, and even within the same tray, there'll be variances. Some will be lighter, some will be darker. Some sets will be lighter, some sets will be darker within that same batch. So it's just a variance within the batch. So when you hear people talk about Gen 1 Ruby, really there's no such thing. And here's the proof. Old versus new. Hopefully Flint, you had a chance to check this video out because you said you really like the X-Metal Juliets with the rubies. So this episode is dedicated to you. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit that like button. Do not forget to hit the bell icon. We will see you next time on Rare Oakleys.